Greetings, Cyberdogs and citizens of the Interbubs. This is ReNDoG and Moses the Pet Rock coming at you from the Moba Lisa Project in another episode of Minecraft Survival from the Hermitcraft server. In the previous episode, we were taking a very brief look at this giant-ass project that we have started with Iskal85 and Etho. And in this episode, my friends, we are getting down to business, baby. I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how we want this minigame to work. And we're going to get down to some serious freaking crafting. It is going to be absolutely awesome, my friends. Sit back and relax with a tasty beverage and a crunchy-ass snack. Let's play some Minecraft freaking survival, baby. Boys and girls and cyberdogs from all over the world, welcome to the Moba Lisa Project. I woke up this morning at the crack of freaking dawn, my friends, because all I have been doing for the last few days is thinking about this crazy mini-game concept that Iskal85 and I have plucked out of our brains a couple of weeks ago. And I'm super excited to be finally working with you fun people out there on the Moba Lisa project. It is going to be absolutely amazing. Let's see if we are able to bring this concept to life just using some blocks in Minecraft. It is going to be awesome. I'm going to be explaining to you guys exactly how this game is supposed to function in today's episode, and we're going to start working on our section of the game. It is going to be awesome, man. But before we get to any of that jazz, guys, it's tasty beverage time. Give me 1 second. Oh, man. Perfect cup of tea. Perfect day for Minecraft. Sit back and relax, guys. Let's do this thing, baby. So in the previous episode, we were working with Iskal and Etho on some of the game mechanics for our Minecraft MOBA, and I thought we could kick off today's episode by going through some of the details of exactly how we envisage this PvP minigame to work. I'm very aware that there are a lot of you guys out there that have no idea what a MOBA is. You've never played Dota, you never played League of Legends, and I think it's important that we are all on the same freaking page now that we're going to be working on this project for quite a while to come. So let's see if the ReNDoG can break this down for you as simply as freaking possible. So from up here on this viewing perch I've erected, we can see the entire arena in all of its majestic glory, and we can also clearly see the arena has been separated into two distinct lanes. We've got a lane here for Team Purple, and we've got a lane here for Team Red. Running through the center of the arena is a giant wall that is separating the teams, but at the end of that wall is a choke point that connects the two lanes, a place where teams can pass back and forth between each other's lanes. Now, how do you win a game of Moba Lisa? Well, it's very, very simple. You can see there are 3 platforms that exist on the arena, a platform for Team Red on the Team Red's lane, a platform for Team Purple in Team Purple's lane, and then a neutral platform in the choke point between the two lanes at the very end of the arena. The way that you win a game of Moba Lisa is by capturing all of the 3 platforms for your team. So a very simple win mechanic that we've got in the game that is powered by some very complicated redstone that we're going to have a look at a little bit later on in the episode. Now, there is another section of this arena that we need to talk about, and that is this section over here. This is a place in the arena where you will be able to gather resources for your team. In each of the team spawning areas, there are going to be shops where you'll be able to purchase power-ups, you'll be able to purchase weapons, potions, all of that sweet sort of jazz. But in order to purchase those potions or those weapons or upgrades, you need a currency. That currency is going to be rotten flesh. And as we have been looking at over the last couple of episodes, there are 2 zombie spawners down here, one indicated by the yellow circle and one indicated by the red circle. And as a player, you will be able to come to this section of the arena and grind those zombies for their rotten flesh. You can then use that rotten flesh in the shops of your spawning area to buy your weapons, upgrades, or potions, and then get back into the battlefield trying to capture the points that are scattered throughout the arena. That is pretty much how the game works in a nutshell, I suppose. Alright, so here we are in the red team spawning area, and I wanted to take you guys through a run through of what I as a player might do in a round of Moba Lisa. Downstairs in our spawning area we are going to have our beds, and this is where we and our teammates are going to be respawning after being hacked to death by the purple team. And upstairs we are going to have access to some shops. In these shops we are going to be able to purchase weapons and armor and upgrades and ammunition and all of that sweet sort of jazz. And once we are ready to return to battle, we are going to exit our spawning area into our lane. And this lane has got three major sections to it. On this side of the lane, we are going to have an area where we can grind zombies to get resources. At the far end of the lane, we have a section where we are connecting into the purple team's lane and where we can start invading enemy territory. And right here outside of our spawning area, we have the red team's platform. This is a very important and very strategic location that as the red team you need to keep under your control, and you do that by standing on these pressure plates. The more players that stand on the pressure plates, the quicker it takes to capture the point. So if you have a bunch of purple team guys standing on these pressure plates, these lights are slowly going to go in their favor, and once all the lights reach the end, it shows you that this platform has been captured by that team. Currently, this platform is captured by the red team, as indicated by all of the lights here that are shining. So, as a player, you come out of your spawning area, you've got three decisions to make. Number one, you can be defending your area, so you can try and fight off the purple team that are trying to capture this tower. Number two, you can head off to the back of the arena where you can grind some zombies. And that is where those spawners that we have been talking about come into play. Right here, we are going to have a beautiful area where as the player, you can come and hack zombies to get their flesh, and then you can take that flesh back to the spawning area to purchase upgrades, weapons, and armor, and so forth. Now, if you have all the stuff that you need and your team is trying to capture the towers, now is your time to head down the lane, to head to the end of the arena where we are going to have our very first neutral capture point. And this is, of course, where as a team you're going to be fighting to capture the point. And if the purple team is capturing the point, you can see that the beacon starts to flash, showing that this point is being captured, and we should see these lights slowly but surely going in the favor of the purple team. I don't know, it might be broken at the moment. Etho is still working hard to try and get these platforms to work correctly, but this kind of shows you the platform is being captured. Oh, there we go. We can see the lights from the red team are slowly dimming, and these lights will slowly but surely head in this direction. So you could be here battling away with the purple team trying to capture this point. If you have captured this point, of course, you will be heading into the purple team's area, and you are going to be heading straight into their capture point, which is over here. And as the red team, of course, you're going to be standing on this platform, and slowly but surely we are going to be capturing the purple team's platform from them. The idea being that once the teams have captured all 3 points, that is how you win a round of Moba Lisa. So, that is pretty much the mechanics of the game. There's 2 lanes, 3 towers, 2 spawning points, and 2 areas for teams to grind. And obviously, importantly, both of the lanes are separated by a wall that is going to be running through the section of the arena. So the only way to invade your opponent's side of the battlefield is by going through this choke point over here. Although we might have a mechanic in the game where if you capture this platform, it might open up a shortcut in the middle of the lane so that your players have a quicker route into the enemy territory, but we are still sort of working out the exact mechanics of how we want the game to work. But in a nutshell, that is pretty much how the Moba Lisa project works. Pretty sweet, right? So as every Minecrafter on this planet knows, when you start working on a brand new project, you got to set yourself up with a little bit of a workstation. And that's exactly what we've got going on over here. I've set up some chests and a bed and a little place to come and hang my hat after a long day of crafting right outside of the red spawning area. And it is from here that we are going to be working on the Moba Lisa project for the next few episodes. And yeah, as you guys can see, I have done a lot of work already off camera, which is fantastic, man. A lot of grind work to do in this project, but I have been loving it, man. As you can see, I've already set up a bunch of custom trees all the way down this side of the lane, all the way to the end of the lane. And of course, these trees are they're there to look beautiful, but at the same time, they are there to stop players getting out of the arena. So it's kind of like a form and function build that we've got going on over here. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the interesting things that we could do in our lane. And it's actually a very interesting exercise. when you think about it. Basically, what we are trying to create here is a very fun PvP experience, right? And that means that the map that we are creating right now needs to be fun for the players. Not only does it need to be fun, but it also needs to be beautiful. We need the players to feel like they are in an amazing arena, that they are, you know, whisked away to another universe for the time that they are playing here. And that means that we have to combine form and function in a very, very clever way. And I suppose we have to put our game design caps on when we are working on this lane, right? Let me try and break it down for you exactly what I'm talking about here. So if this is our lane, right? So this is a PvP lane that we are running down. There needs to be a lot of space to interact with the other players. So if the enemies are coming into the lane, we want you to be able to fight them quite easily with swords, with bows, with ender pearls, with splash potions, with all that sort of thing. So that means as game designers, Iskal and I need to ensure that our lanes are quite open, that there are a number of places where you could take cover, but not necessarily hide or abuse, right? And Iskal's done a great job in his lane of adding these fossils, which I think look really great. This adds a little bit of cover from arrows, but it doesn't completely hide you. Iskal's also created some craters where you can come and hide in, and you know, all the way down the lane there are small little things that you can use to take advantage of a PvP situation. We need to apply the exact same thinking for our elvish lane also, and I brought out a bunch of red clay today because I want to try and set up a few of these ideas, right? So here's a first idea that I thought of. We could have some sort of an elvish tower that is sticking out of the forest wall of the lane, right? So an elvish tower that could potentially act as a somewhere to hide, a bit of cover as you are sort of firing arrows into the choke point over there, but at the same time won't be a place where a player could come and hide and sort of cower away. You wouldn't be able to climb up the tower either, of course. It's just going to act as a little bit of cover. And I think that we can use a build like that, an elvish tower, to not only add to the aesthetics of our lane and to make it feel like it is in fact some sort of an elven kingdom, but at the same time we can add a little bit of gameplay element to it. We can create an interesting arena for players to battle in, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Let me get a few more of these things set up and I'll take you guys through some of my thinking. Oh baby, this place is starting to come together real nice, my friends. I've just finished throwing up a bunch of example buildings and I don't know, it's really helping to bring the place to life. I can sort of see how the lane is going to look in my mind's eye if I close my eyes. And while I've been doing this work, guys, I've had an absolute epiphany with regards to the lore for our section. Earlier I was talking about how I want this area to be a place for elves, an elven wood or something like that, but I reckon we make it a little bit more interesting, and perhaps what we say is that this lane is going to be a representation of an alliance between the elves and the humans, right? And here's how I think we're going to do this. These towers that you see over here, these are sort of watchtowers or archery towers that go all the way down the lane, right? On the left and on the right. And here is a building. I don't know exactly what we'll do with this. Maybe it's a barn or a house or something like that. But over here is where it gets interesting. I've made a couple of doorways against the wall of the tree wall here. And I'm thinking about changing this from a tree wall into perhaps a wall of buildings. And here's my thoughts. I want to turn the red spawning area into a human village, right? So when you're in here, it's going to feel like you're in the town center of a human village or something like that. And then at the very back of the lane where you come to grind the mobs, this is going to be where the elves are. This is going to be like an elven ruin or something like that, right? And the forces of the elves and the forces of the humans have come together to battle the evil side, to battle the orcs, to battle the death that is happening on the other side of the Great Wall here. And I reckon by fusing those two laws together, we will be able to create some really, really cool stuff down this lane. I've already thrown up an idea here for like an elvish ruin. Think Stonehenge. We'll have like little pillars here where you can take cover. And this is an interesting spot for this sort of build because you have the neutral tower just over there, and we don't want to give you too much cover, but as a PvPer, we want you to have a place where you can use your bow or you can take cover while you're healing. And at the very back of the lane, I want to set up maybe like a mine or something that's going to look like an abandoned mine or something like that. And that is just to add a little bit more flavor to the lane, right? And I reckon this lane is turning out real good, man. If we approach this lane from this side, so say we're running through here, we're going to come around here. We've got a lot of space for fighting, still a bunch of space for fighting, but we can see things on the horizon. We can see interesting buildings and interesting things to look at. And I reckon that is turning out real freaking awesome, man. What we always have to remember though, guys, while we're working on this game is that even though we want to make it look beautiful, we have to ensure that it is playable, that it is fun, and most importantly, that it is balanced, right? That is the absolutely most important thing. We want both sides of the arena to be different in the way that they look. We don't want to just make them exactly the same, but we want them to be balanced, of course. And we don't want anybody to get any advantage from the area or the environment. And if there is an advantage to be gained, then that advantage needs to be sort of matched on the other side of it, right? So what I wanted to do now is just lay down these yellow blocks just to indicate the primary road that a player might travel through our lane, right? So here on the dark side, if you follow the dark side, if you follow the dirt, this is the obvious path for the player to travel, right? And we sort of need to emulate the same thing on our side, and that will give us a really good indication of where and where not to build stuff. So I reckon if we just have our path running like this, right? If we just follow the blocks, it's going to take you all the way to the capture point of the red team, which is over here, and then it's going to take you all the way back up there. Now we can start working on this lane, trying to figure out exactly where we can put obstacles and where we can put stuff, and that's going to give us a really decent example of balance and give us a good idea of how we can balance our lane. So let me do a little bit more work here, guys, and I'll bring you back in one shakes of a lamb's tail. So I've been making some really decent progress with the lane design, guys, but I wanted to run a quick experiment with you, an experiment about feelings, baby. I want to travel through Iskal's lane into our lane, and I want to feel that change between evil and good as we cross over at the end of the arena there, right? So let's do this thing. Let's run through Iskal's arena. We are a player. We are hunting. We are an orc, baby. We want to go kill some humans and eat their brains, I guess. And as we come out of the evil lands into the good lands, oh man, there definitely feels like there is a massive change in flavor, right? As you go between the two lanes. That is fantastic. I actually got a little pang of Warcraft in my soul there. I got a little flashback to Warcraft 2 as I was doing this run. Let's try it again from this side. So we're going to run out of the good lane into the evil lane. And yes, there is definitely a tangible change as you travel through that. And that is exactly what I was going for, man. That is absolutely awesome. So freaking stoked with that, man. But guys, I've finished off the path, as you can see, or the foundations for the path anyway. And I'm very happy with how it's turned out. However, I need your guys' help right now. Now it's time for the ReNDoG to set some homework for you fine people out there. You can see that I've laid down a whole bunch of yellow squares all the way up and down our lane. And this is your opportunity, guys, to get your thinking caps on. I want you guys to hit me up with some ideas in the comment section of what we could put in these yellow squares. At the moment, we've got archery and watchtowers. We've got a house. We've got a little village. We've got a mine at the end of there, at the end of the lane, or over there, like a cave or a mine or something. And we have some elven ruins, Stonehenge style over there. So you guys need to get your thinking caps on, come up with some sweet ideas. What other little bits of interesting things could we add into the lane to really bring the lore of this place to life? The human-elven alliance and the fusion of an ancient elven civilization living in a ruin into the side of this mountain with a human village that is going to become our spawn area over here at the Moba Lisa Project. Can't wait to see what you guys come up with in the comment section below, man. Listen, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you did enjoy it, man. And if you did, please do hit that like button. It helps me a ton. You guys have no idea how much it helps me. So if you want to support me and help me out, you hit that like button like nobody's business. And of course, if you are new to the ReNDoG channel and are following the progress of the Moba Lisa Project, you hit that subscribe button so that you do not miss a minute of the action. Can't wait to start the next episode, guys. We have got so much work to do here, and we're going to get stuck into some serious beautification in the next one. It is going to be absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for watching, my friends. My name's been ReNDoG, and we will see you all in the next episode.